Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you cool substitute teachers listen to. And this week, we're going to a Campus 2.0 edition in this month's Adventurers Club. The news is at the witching hour. And finally, we're getting spooky in this week's Tasty Topic. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Hassel.
Hey, no Joe this week, unfortunately. So if you're hearing us, hooray, I hit record.
Well done, Brian.
Thank you. I would say don't say it, but
If you're only hearing Hassel, then Brian just messed up
I did.
pretty bad.
Everybody checked, okay? So, it is on me, but also more eyes were on it than just me, so.
We've all put our stamp of approval on here. I'm sure this sounds amazing.
Oh, sure. I'm sure it does.
We got it.
And
Nailed
for
it.
those who did not know, Jo is our producer. She does all of the mic stuff and the editing stuff.
She
so
does.
next time, throw her some snaps on online.
Yeah, if you're like,
she's putting in the extra work.
Yeah, if you're like, I wonder why she's not talking all that much. It's because she's writing notes, trying to fix our stuff.
Or like, I wonder why this sounds so good.
Definitely,
It's not us.
It's all Joe.
It's not us.
Nope.
The amount of times that Joe has actually cut out filler words from anything that I've ever said.
The amount of time she's made conversation where there was none. She's spliced
I'm
together
eternally
two
grateful to
completely
Joe.
different sentences and somehow made them one, and it sounds like it's normal.
Pure wizardry.
All her.
Yeah.
Because listen, we all, despite what you may hear on every weekly podcast, we're all talking at the exact same time over each other.
Yes. Yeah.
The entire time
Stream of
through.
consciousness, first thing that comes to mind.
Somehow she makes it work.
This is all the magic of editing.
And it was magical, especially because when we had to do separate cast for that
Oh
year,
my gosh.
Lockdown.
and because there was that delay, we talked over each other so
my
much.
gosh.
Yeah.
But because we were all on separate tracks, Joe was actually able to still make that conversation work. She just had to, put a whole lot more work into it.
Next time you see Jo, buy her a drink.
Yes.
Of
Buy her
her
soda.
choosing.
Absolutely.
Of her choosing.
Please do.
Joe makes us sound less like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. And more like a professional podcast.
Yeah.
Like a barbershop quartet.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you so much.
Well,
But let's get into this week's question.
yeah, what's going on this week?
So this week, I'm just going to get right into the question. So the question is, if money wasn't a factor, what kind of theme or like custom stuff would you like to have on like a computer case?
Ooh.
Like a physical dressing.
computer case. Like some people have built a computer case to look like the Nuka-Cola dispenser
Love
from
it.
Fallout.
Love it.
Like
Ooh,
that type of stuff.
okay.
It could be that custom, or it could just be a simple paint job.
I don't really like modern day aesthetic or technology, so it probably wouldn't look like a computer anymore. I
Okay.
would probably make it look like an old fashioned radio,
A treasure
or
chest.
something
Oh,
like
yeah.
something like very simple, like something not very sophisticated. So maybe something with like I don't even really like the steampunk aesthetic. So even simpler than that,
Yeah.
but something that would fit on a bookshelf, and you'd be like, oh, that definitely belongs there. That's not technology. That's
Yeah.
not. That wasn't made any time in the last 200 years. Like, I would do that.
That does
There'd be
just
a lot of
sound like
copper.
the quintessential Amanda computer.
There'd be some wood and some copper, and it would look probably like a book.
Would it make any extra sounds? Like, would it be a little steampunky and make like
No,
sounds
no.
or anything?
To be honest, I mean, I'm down for a steampunk aesthetic, but if it's like going to be in my house, it's going to be a little more realistic.
Quiet.
I'm just yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it does something cool. I mean, I'm down for it to do something cool. Like if it opened a secret door in the house, I'd be okay with that.
What?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
That would
be
be
amazing.
yeah.
It's sounding more and more like your computer is like the machine that brings Casper back to life.
Oh, I'm down. Yeah. That's 1,000%
That's
what I'm
it.
looking
That's
for.
it
Yeah.
right now. That's absolutely it. For myself, it's probably not what you guys would think. It would actually be a Counter-Strike themed one, because Counter-Strike was the first game I got competitively into, and actually what mainly got me into PC gaming. And it wouldn't just be like any Counter-Strike theme. I want it to be like a map from the original Counter-Strike,
Ooh.
which is DE_Dust. And it was, I wanted to have like, just to look like the map, just to look like the underground tunnel that runs underneath it, and have some terrorists on one side looking blocky and polygony as all heck, and then counter terrorists on the other side just camping with a sniper rifle, because that was what that map was.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So just nice and simple, still look like a normal computer case, but be nicely painted.
Be nicely painted.
Yes.
Okay, money's not an issue, you said, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to take our computer and I'm going to build it into a small robot.
Robot.
A robot.
Okay.
Yes. And then
Okay.
it's going to be the Justice Bot, and this robot is going to, by PC, help me play Stardew Valley 2. And by night, it's going to fight justice, fight for justice. It's going to go around just the entire neighborhood, just helping people that are in trouble. Well, it could be car trouble. It doesn't have to be big justice.
Sure.
Little injustices.
What if?
Sure.
I have a question.
Okay.
What is the cutoff? Like, what if you wanted to play Stardew Valley 2 at night?
Oh, it's immediate.
And
It's immediate. As soon as I'm like, hey, I need to play some Stardew Valley.
He's gonna leave that little lady
Yeah.
in the middle of the road.
Yeah. But
Immediately
I mean,
come
like,
back,
Oh, okay.
it
got it.
like half helped a little. It's better than no help.
I like that you said that by day you'd be playing Stardew Valley, and by night it would be, fighting for justice.
Yeah,
but
no.
we both know that you video game
Yeah.
well into the evening.
Days are for sleeping.
So it would probably be more of a daytime assistant.
That's, you know what, even better.
I can only imagine like the robot seeing an old lady in the middle of the road and be like, "Hold on, help is on the way." And then as it's on its way, it gets the notice and it just turns around and books it back to you.
Oh boy.
Aren't you going to help me? I can't carry these groceries on my own.
Troy needs to play 2 Point Campus before the deadline. Bop, 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 bop.
I
Yep.
understand.
Listen to the Taste of Dragons podcast.
Oh,
Goodbye.
And it
what
just
a charming young computer.
I also like how we said that money is no object.
Oh yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually my first idea was to dress it like a robot and have it do rob banks.
Yeah.
But if money's
But-
not an
Do
issue,
crimes,
it do
yeah.
crimes. So if money's not an issue, then I would not need to rob banks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
And based on this conversation right now, though, the robot that you envision doing this is a 1980s robot.
100%.
Yes.
So even though money's no object, it's just still like a really
Yeah.
old robot.
Yeah. It looks like an old compact computer with like that
Yeah.
weird like beige gray.
It's just Rob. It just says Rob. Nintendo's
It's Rob.
Rob.
Yeah. It's a real sad affair, but it's a really good computer though. It's top
That's what
notch.
matters, man.
And also, like, if like your computer needs upgrades, I'll just be like, go ahead. Just have it either do it itself or just walks to like a PC repair store and it's just like, upgrade me. Need to play 3 Point Campus. Dumb joke. That's a dumb joke.
So for me, as I'm sitting here next to my computer and it's like, not making any sounds, the two things that I really miss is when computers were the sizes of rooms and really loud machinery.
Okay. okay.
So
Wait, you missed
think-
those things?
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I recently watched The Imitation Game, and by recently I mean over the last like 2 years. And I envisioned this. I want my modern computer to operate the same way that Alan Turing's machine did in the movie, where it's just a whole bunch of like little rotary things that will just create a very obnoxious, loud sound that would just reverberate through my entire neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Let everyone know.
Exactly. So everybody knows that somebody's like driving down my neighborhood and they're like, what is that sound? And my neighbor's like, oh, Hassel just booted up
Minesweeper.
Shredder's Revenge.
Hassel, the mad scientist, just turned on his laboratory computer.
What kind of
Yeah,
sound is that?
exactly.
Is that like a boing? Or is it like a
It's like a
siren?
click, click, click.
No, it sounds like you have like a really old like 1980s like Ford that you've been trying to turn on for a really long time,
Wow.
but somehow you can't really get it to turn
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
one time it does turn on. That's what it sounds like.
Just ferocious.
Yep.
The sound that first came up to me or into my brain was the Reaper sound from Mass Effect 3 Like when they would come in, it's like a wee wah.
That's a donkey.
It is, but imagine that like computerized. That's mainly what it sounds like.
Do that one more time.
Wee wah.
We got a good one. For
That's
Joe.
exact.
Yeah.
Joe
Yep.
can make that sound.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Right?
we're good.
Oh, we actually can. Yes.
Yeah.
That actually was Joe's text tone for a while.
Really?
It was.
That's a good text tone.
It's an
You
amazing
making that
text tone.
sound?
Yeah, it was. Yes. It was me making that sound while Joe sighs heavily in the background.
Love it.
That's gonna peak so bad. Man, but thank you guys for answering that computer question, and that does lead us, or at least that's going to lead me into this next question, which is we're going to be talking about Adventurers Club, everybody.
Yeah.
We hope
Mando.
you had fun out of your
Yay.
adventures. We hope that everyone was safe.
Yes.
And that your adventures were fun.
What is the Adventures Club?
So the Adventurers Club is a new thing that we're starting. Only the cool kids are invited, but good news, you guys are the cool kids.
It's good news because otherwise, man, that would be awkward.
Yeah. Everyone listening to this podcast is a cool kid. And remember, you can only listen to this podcast wearing your dragon ears.
Available now in shop.
Yep. Link in bio.
So every month we're going to pick out a game at the beginning of the month that's going to be on one of the free-to-play or close to free-to-play services, something like a Game Pass, something like a PS++, something like something free on Steam.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you at the beginning of the month so you can join us on our adventures. We're all going to sit down and we're going to play our games separately, and then at the end of the month we're going to compare notes. We're going to take out our adventurers logs and show them the snapshots of the wild beasts that we've destroyed, or in this case, the graduates that we have assisted. This month's game is 2 Point Campus.
That's right, 2 Point Campus, which is actually made by Sega. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. It's pronounced Sega. Actually, like straight up Sega, not like a subsidiary, just Sega. I didn't know they were still making games. But this is how would you explain this game? It's a lemonade stand game. That doesn't explain it.
It's like a roller coaster.
It's a business
tycoon.
game.
Yeah.
Where you're given a job, you're given a business, you're given a budget, and then you have to create the building, create things that are going to make
building sim,
people
yeah.
the building sim.
Like SimCity.
With budget. Like
Yes.
SimCity.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But this is particularly themed, as you may have guessed it, at a campus, at a place of higher learning, which I know very little about.
So you're building your own college, and they have different room types, and then you get to hire folks, and the idea is that the better your college is, the more money you make, the more points you get, the more things you unlock, and you make bigger and better campuses over and over and over again until you've made the best campus literally possible in all of the game.
So what originally drew me to this game when I saw the trailer is they're definitely showing a lot of like really like fun animations of just these characters just being real goofy, and a lot of goofy things are happening at this campus, whether it's people getting shrunk or like I don't know, like an octopus tentacle coming out of a pot or something, just really off the wall stuff that I was like, what even is this game? For me, I booted it up. I got into the tutorial and learned. A lot of it is very budget heavy. You're given a blank school, and they step by step kind of tell you what you need to put in it. You need a classroom, so you make a science class, and you put a little like experimental science like module inside of it, and then you have to hire a teacher. But then your campus needs a janitor because there's trash everywhere, and your campus needs like an assistant for a library that you build, and so you're constantly buying or hiring. You're making buildings, you're making rooms, and then you're hiring like faculty and staff to be in those rooms to operate them.
Correct.
And then you just turn the school on, and then it kind of starts functioning. Students start appearing, and you start getting money.
Like many building sims, it's very like systems oriented. Like if you're the type of person that's not into systems, this is probably not your game.
It
It
is
is systems and systems and systems.
Uh-huh.
But you get a lot of customization with it. Like you build your room, but you get to choose where all of the items inside the room go. You get to choose what you put in there. Like, am I going to put 6 desks in there so they can study, or am I going to put like more dry erase boards, or am I going to put like a VR headset? Like what am my gear? And then the better the room is, the more they get educated, the better the teachers are, the better the students do, the more money you make. So it's like many layers of like, hey, the room's the right size, but did I put the correct stuff in? Or if I put the correct stuff in, did I hire the right person?
The right
so
teacher,
if you're into like that minutia of just it's an 8, I want it to be a 9.
And the details on these teachers are real specific. Like one of the details on this teacher was even like, has a bad bladder.
Yeah, it needs lots of breaks.
Nice.
Like I'm like, wow, this is good to know. I can't have my teacher in the middle of their lecture being like, ugh,
Prone to litter.
I peed all over the floor.
This game, it was interesting because this game is by the same type of team that did Theme Hospital, which is way back in the day during like the Roller Coaster Tycoon type games. They did like Theme Park, which is where Roller Coaster Tycoon kind of spun
Roller
off
Coaster
from.
Tycoon?
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Sweet.
They did Theme
Love that
Park,
game.
which was that. And then they did Theme Hospital, which is what inspired the new game that they came out with, which was, I think it's 2 Point Hospital or something like that. And so that did so well. They're like, oh, let's do this type of thing. So then they developed this game, which is 2 Point Campus. And so that all came about. And yeah, it very much harkens back to old school type gameplay. Like you said, you have to hire janitors to clean up trash, but the trash still looks like it did back in Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, just a little sprite.
It's just a little sprite. That's all you get.
But you have to like build bathrooms. You have to
Yes.
build a place for them to sleep. You have to build like vending machines so they can eat, because your students all have like happiness meters and things like that.
Yeah,
too.
they're all like little Sims.
They're
If
like
you've
little
ever
Sims,
played
yeah.
Sims,
Yeah.
where they all have needs, like they all have to, go to the bathroom.
But you're
they all
not
have to shower.
controlling them.
Absolutely
you're not controlling
not.
any
No.
This
person.
is very more SimCity than it is The Sims.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, you're juggling all of this and also trying to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the game was that in addition to maintaining the operation of the campus, I also got to take care of the well-being of the students.
Yeah, what was your favorite part of that?
Like if a student
I don't know how, but you're lying worse now than you do with The Witcher.
Hassel, come clean. Come clean, Hassel.
What's
Hassel,
going
it's
on?
Okay. You're in a safe place. We all love you. Okay?
Oh man, I cannot. Okay. I had an entire month to play this game, and I instead played Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Does it feel good that you became honest and
Yeah.
let us know?
Absolutely.
And-
However, okay,
Were
so
you just reading off a Wikipedia page before?
no, those were my feelings.
So can I get this straight that instead of investing in a college education, you ran drugs?
You slung cocaine?
That is exactly what I did. No,
some
okay,
yayo?
so to those of you at home, normally we start recording this podcast around 8:00.
Yes.
At about 7:48, I downloaded the game, and I started my own campus. And the thing that stood out to me the most, and I think it's just because I was rushing it,
Yeah.
is I saw that I had a budget and it said $500,000, and I was like, okay, great, I can start a campus with this. But then it said that I had 10 students enrolled into what I read at first as Scientology.
Yeah.
And I went, no, what? But it turns out it's not Scientology. It was something else.
It's
I
like
can't
science
remember what it
class.
was.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, it's like a regular
Yeah.
science class.
It was definitely supposed to look like Scientology because everything
Really?
in this game is a joke.
Yes.
Literally
Oh,
everything
yes.
is
Yeah.
a joke. Yeah. 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 Every class, every person's name, every poster, every bit. The people on the radio.
Yes.
I'm ashamed to admit at how funny I think they are. Troy's playing, and then I would laugh, and then I'd look at him and like, you didn't hear that? They just said, never mind.
I'm
never
like, I
mind.
can't read and listen at the same time. Sorry.
I was almost in Hassel's shoes as well, because when we first started this, I was like, okay, great. At the beginning of the month, though, the power supply on my computer died. So I was like, I wanted to play this game on a PC. I'm not going to play this on an Xbox because this is definitely made for.
It's a clicky game.
Yeah,
It's a clicking game.
yeah.
It's made for the PC.
Yeah, it is.
So I was like, it's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll get a new power supply. I'll do this. But I was talking with Joe, and Joe's like, why don't you just build a new computer? And I was like, I mean,
Wow.
you don't have to tell me twice.
Wow.
But she was like, hey, listen, I do want the computer to be cute, though. And I was like, but the way that she wanted to be cute, though, is because online, this was like several months ago. I want to say it was almost 6 months ago. This one company called Ironside Computers was selling a computer case that looked like a juice box.
Aw,
And they
very
called
cute.
it the juice box.
Ooh.
And it
cool.
had like Japanese lettering on it, and you could get it in different colors, aka different flavors. So they had like a strawberry, they had a melon. I think there's like 12 different flavors / colors.
Yo, get that lychee.
Oh, there is. I think there is a lychee.
Get that lychee.
So when it first came out, I was like, yo, these are really cool. But they like sold out immediately. I'm like, oh, man, that's fine. So when I was talking to Joe, was like, well, I mean, if you can get one of those dope cases, I was like, well, let me see if they're back in stock. They were not. And she's like, well, I want it to be a smaller case. I want it to, not look like a giant case. I want a smaller case. I want it to be. I was like, all right. I went to their support, and I was like, hey, how do I buy one of these cases? I need one of these cases. And they're like, hey, follow our Twitter. We announce it on there. So I went to their Twitter, and I happened to see they made a meme where it's like people looking longingly at the juice box cases. And then in the comments, somebody asked, yo, when are you releasing them? They're like, well, why don't you check our Twitter on October the 3rd? Maybe they're going to be, maybe there's going to be something going on. I was like, well, that's in 2 days.
Nice.
I went on there immediately when they became available, and I ordered a melon one.
Yay!
Yes, nice.
Congratulations.
What kind of melon is it? Like a pinkish melon, or like a?
It's
like
a honeydew. It's a honeydew
so
melon.
green.
Yes,
Love that.
it is a light
Ooh.
green. Yes.
Very nice.
And so not only is it an amazing color, that's also one of my favorite things, Japanese, character-wise, that I can actually read in Japanese.
Yeah.
So it actually has that on the front. But it was like it takes like 2 to 3 weeks in order to come in. We custom make all of these. I was like, all right, that's fine. And so I've just been slowly accumulating parts throughout the month because I'm not in a rush. I have all this time. The last part came in on Monday.
That's
of
like
this
2 days
week.
ago, 3 days ago.
Yes. And I was like, all right, great. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and start to try to maybe figure out how to build, or not figure out how to build this. I know how to build it, but maybe get into it.
Build
Tuesday,
this juice box.
build this juice box. Tuesday came around. I was late at my job. I came home, and then we did our Twitch stream. So I didn't get to build on a Tuesday.
Oh.
So yesterday,
Oh my goodness.
I started it at 8 p.m. I finished it at 3:30 in the morning.
Wait, you finished what?
No.
Building the computer.
Oh, I almost thought
3:30
you
in the
meant
morning.
the game.
No. I finished building the
point.
computer at 3:30 in the morning.
That's impressive.
It's my first computer I built in 9 years, and
Wow.
I've had a whole bunch of new parts that I haven't used before. So it was
man.
also figuring stuff out.
What's even
Yeah,
funnier
yeah.
about the story is Brian came in to set the podcast today, and one of the first questions Amanda and I asked him were, "Hey, could you look at our computer?"
That's why I was
Nice.
immediately like, yes, I got you.
That's very nice of you. I would have been like, "No, I've been
Not today.
I've been in a mountain
I've
of
been
computers."
ingrained in computer parts and computers for the last month.
It's like now
I'm
is
ready.
the time.
I know
So
everything.
I know we're diverging from the game a little bit.
a little bit.
I promise
yes.
you,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
go back.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna go back.
we're gonna talk about how in each in-game year lasts for around 20 minutes in this game. We're gonna go back to it. I promise.
We
you.
will.
But if this did anything for me, is it reinforced my need for a Steam Deck.
Oh, it's so good.
So what we did is we went hiking this past Sunday. Just a couple of friends of ours and stuff like that. So
Sure.
And one of my friends just got a Steam Deck and was just talking about it, and we kept on talking about it as we were on this 5-mile hike, and we're just walking around talking about how great his Steam Deck is, and he's just like, I love it. I just kind of lay in bed, and if I want to play a PC game, I don't have to go sit at my PC.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how freeing that thought was until I kind of started procrastinating playing this game. I'm like, oh, I should play this game. Oh, but I gotta go sit at the computer. And I gotta turn it on.
Oh man, that's too much work. It's way too much
Yeah.
work.
Our computer's in the living room now, but it used to be in the office. And it was like, oh, I kind of want to play a game, but I kind kind of want to hang out with my husband. And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Troy, can you come sit on this sofa in this other room and do nothing while I play this computer game? Like, no. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just play the Switch because I can
Yeah.
play the Switch anywhere. So if he's like, oh, I'm going to watch a movie or I'm going to play Overwatch. I was like, okay, well, I'll just play the Switch for now. And I had a Steam Deck.
Nice. So yeah, I finished at 3:30 in the morning, and I had the best feeling in the world because I put it all together. I hit the power button, and it worked.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes.
Nice.
So today I got home at 5 p.m. I had installed it last night as well. I installed Windows, everything else like that. And the first thing I did was I installed the Xbox app and I installed 2 Point Campus. I was like, I'm going to play it as soon as I get home tomorrow. So I got home at 5 p.m. today, and I was like, I immediately went to my computer, booted it up. I don't even have the right graphics drivers or anything. I don't care. I had to play this game. So I played 2 solid hours of this game today before coming here. And I'm glad I did because it was definitely a little bit different than I thought it was going to be.
I'm loving how all of our stories are probably emulating our own real life college experiences
Yeah.
with projects or homework.
Yeah. Last minute, baby.
Last minute, baby. But you did like something way more impressive with your month than the actual assignment. You
Right?
built a computer.
I did.
That's way better than whatever 2 Point Campus may or may not be.
I finished playing this game a week
First.
before we announced we were going to do it on the podcast.
Oh, you
So
did?
That tracks.
Amanda finished her homework like before it
the
was even
teacher assigned
homework.
it.
You did.
Yeah.
That is very Amanda. That's
Yeah.
true. So did you beat the
Amanda.
game, Amanda?
No. I played through the entire tutorial, and then they were like, "You don't have to play this anymore." And I was like, "That's what you think." And then I beat that whole level. I got like all the stars on it, and they're like, "You want to build another campus?" And I was like, "No, I'm good."
That is where we differ because I do love that aspect because normally when you do a tutorial, they're like, all right, sweet, you can continue if you want, but you can also go to the next level. But I like how in every single one of these levels, they're like, sweet, you got the first star, you unlock the next level.
Yeah.
But there's 2 more stars you can do if you want.
Yeah.
Do you want to be exceptional at this one thing, or do you want to have like a diversity of different things and different campuses if you want? And so for me, when I unlocked it, I was like, I do want to go to the new thing though.
Yeah. Was the next one good? I didn't.
Yeah,
even
the next
see it.
one's very good. The next one's a culinary school.
Culinary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't get to the wizard school. I was really interested to see what that was going to be like. I thought that would be really fun. But
So yeah, I played through the first 2 schools as well, and it did have that zaniness I was looking for.
Yes.
I got a little bogged down with some of the systems, like
Okay.
when you build a room. I think I built a student lounge.
Yes.
Before they even asked me to build a student lounge, I just put like video games and vending machines in a corner of my campus, and some benches and couches. I was like, cool, because I was getting to the creativity part of it, being like, I'm going to make this place awesome for
and
my
people were
students.
bored, and you were like, "Oh,
People were
I'm going to
bored.
make this a fun place."
And they were using it, and I was feeling great. And then I got into the tutorial where they're like, build a student lounge. I was like, great, already did it. Let me just put walls on this. I put walls on it, and they were like, do you want to sell all the things that don't match in here? And I'm like, no, but all those things match in there. It's just like video games and vending
Like,
machines.
I know that chair and that sofa.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really like a set, but I thought they'd be okay.
Yeah, but even if they weren't a set, that's even more student lounge to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, and I sold all the stuff because it gave me the prompt of being like, hey, these things don't belong here, sell those. And then I went to be like, okay, they give you options as to what should go in the room. And it was the same stuff.
Yeah.
They just wanted me to like drag it out of the room and drag it back in, I guess. But I was like, well, that's dumb.
I wish they did this a little bit more like Dragon Quest Builders. Is that in this you build a room and they tell you what to put in it, and in Dragon Quest Builders you build a room and based on what you put in it, it labels the room. So basically, if you
okay.
put
So you put what you want in there, and then
and
okay.
if you put in a bunch of random stuff and there is no room that fit that description, it's just unlabeled and people could still use it, but it's not
Okay.
like official thing. But if you put in a bed and a poster and a dresser, it would be like, oh, dorm. Instead
see.
of being like, hey,
yeah.
you can't have a vending machine in a dorm. It'd be like, don't judge me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these types of games, but I feel like I don't finish these types of games personally. I finish the games that are more like, hey, listen, this needs a dorm room. Here's the dorm room that's already pre-built. You choose where to put it in here. Cool, I placed it down. Sweet. It's getting what it needs to get. I don't need to figure it out, or I don't need to, design a very poorly mapped out room, because that's what I do. I feel like I play those games more because I get bogged down, like you said, in the minutia of like, does all this fit in here? Or maybe I could have made this better, or I'm going to unlock stuff more.
They did do something I really liked. And like, I made a dorm and I spent the time to make it look nice, and I spent the time to put X amount of beds in it, and I like how I formatted it. And they're like, hey, well, you have 20 new students now, so you need another dorm. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But you could just copy your old dorm and then paste it. And I was like,
that's
oh,
nice.
that's good.
Oh,
So if I
nice.
did like a little corner, I could like just continue to expand. I don't have to make it from scratch every time, which was nice.
That is
Same
nice.
with the science lab or the auditorium.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, this room works
that's pretty
very
cool.
well. Cool. And then
Copy
you
and
just
paste.
copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did do that as well. I just copy and pasted in my poorly designed rooms, but it still saved me a lot of time.
They work just as well. They work
Exactly.
just
Hey,
as well.
listen, suck it up, all
I
right?
probably have more beds than in mine because I was like, no, they're too close together.
Oh, no, I had one bed per room.
Oh, okay.
Like, again,
Oh, so
privacy.
poorly designed. I mean, it's.
Brian built a bougie campus.
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listen, I never had it when I was in college, so
His tuition was much higher
Yes.
for his college than for my college.
I wish it reflected in my profit because I did not have any.
I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with money. I found myself like, I never was afraid in this game that I was going to run out of money. I did 2 schools or 2 campuses.
Yes.
I did the beginner one, the science one, and then I did the culinary one. And I was just like, I was trying to lose money, and I don't know, it just never happened.
I had a hard time with
Is
the
it-
points. Is you got money, and I had no problem with money, but the points that you use to unlock items, I felt like I never had enough of them.
Yeah, there's a whole like sub currency that you earn through like achievements or something.
Yeah,
that
achievements
that
and then
unlock
assignments.
new objects,
Yeah.
new like doors or special couches or special video game machines or
Yeah.
stuff like that. And yeah, I was also having problems trying to get that special currency.
Yeah, and it was
I think it's
interesting.
objective based.
Yeah, because there's two different currencies. There's that one which is the kudos points.
Kudos
Yes,
points.
yes.
And then
yeah.
there's another currency which is called the course points, which you can put into unlocking new courses for your next year,
Yes.
or making your course that you do have accept more
yeah.
students or have it be better.
Yeah.
I don't like those 2 different currencies. I wish they would either combine them or have it a different way you do it, have a different type of unlocking system. I get it because you get to choose what you want to unlock.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do wish it was a little bit different because, again, that's just more minutia
Okay.
that, for personal, I don't like.
So I think the game is charming. I think it's animated well. I
Yes.
think
Very funny.
all the AI are doing funny things. They're interesting to zoom in on and look at and see them,
yeah.
especially see them interact with all the things you're putting in there. Whether it's a boxing game or the VR equipment, it's cool to see all the animations they put in there. Where the game officially lost it for me was after the second campus. I realized that either the objectives, I never felt like I was out of a tutorial. There was always something telling me what to do next. And I guess the idea is you get through that and then you can do whatever you want. But I guess I was maybe getting bogged down with just the objectives.
Oh, every
But
new school is going to give you a
Every-
tutorial,
every-
and then after you
yes.
get your first star, then you can do whatever you want. But
So
yeah.
it just felt like I was like, why am I even here? Because the
Yeah.
game was just telling me what to do next. And when I tried to show some creativity, it like wasn't doing exactly what they wanted to do. So at one point I was just like, well, you play the game then. I guess.
I remember
I
the
get-
first
yeah.
tutorial. It was like, oh, I need another classroom, so I made another science classroom, and then they asked me to, and I was like, I already did. And they're like, well, that one doesn't count because you didn't make it when we. And it was like, oh, I see what you're doing, but I already noticed the thing you just told me to
Right,
do, and I already
yeah.
did. Oh, so it was like, okay, I'll delete this room, and then I'll make it again.
And I was fine with that for the tutorial.
Yeah.
But then when I thought, hey, we're going to be in the game, and it was more of that, I was like,
And I get it because it's teaching you systems, because they are different systems for the most part for a lot of the
There were
different
some-
things.
yeah, there were new things.
There's new things. So I feel like there is a sandbox mode or a free build mode or whatever, or endless mode if you want to call
Okay.
it. But I think that only unlocks once you do, like, you get 1 star and everything.
and
Oh,
you're
okay.
getting like only the things you've unlocked in the game.
I don't know. I just saw it on the
haven't
menu.
beat it,
I saw
yeah.
it in the menu
Right,
where it
okay.
was, but it was grayed out. So I'm assuming once you
I
either
see,
beat the
I
game
see.
or you get a star and everything, that it lets you get
Yeah.
into that mode. I don't know. You got me. But I wish that would be available from the beginning. Again, I get it because it wants to teach you the game before it lets you go into it. But
I guess maybe I'm just leaning more towards a Sims city, a Sim City or something like
Yeah.
that. Because even when it came, because I was really interested in making my campus, even the idea of like, all right, well, I got to put this workbench somewhere. I don't want a workbench in here, but I have to do it to get to the next, or to
Yeah.
get my kudos points. So I guess I'll put 3 workbenches outside. And that's at one point where I just feel like I don't have any impact on the game.
Yeah, any agency.
Yeah, so
exactly.
it fell off real quick for me after that, and I didn't want to continue
I got
with
it.
the next campus.
Hey, that's how it is, and that's why we do this, because all of us play differently.
I made it to 2 points in my campus, but not for, I got 2 campuses.
Nice.
Look at that.
Nailed it.
So I beat it, right?
So as far as adventures go, I feel we got paid. We pulled the bulletin off the board. They we beat the monster. We turned in our little slip, but maybe maybe something more exciting
Something
next
more
time.
exciting.
Well,
Worth noting,
I
man
think-
and I played it on the console. We played
Yeah,
on
you
console.
did?
It's
Okay.
definitely made for the PC. It would have
Yeah.
been better
Yes.
on the PC.
Just-
Probably would have been faster on the PC.
It probably
which
would
may
have been
have
faster.
affected our gameplay too.
After about 20 minutes, half an hour, you just kind of get quick with pressing your L2s and your R2s to get around, and it was fine. But it definitely has a bigger learning curve than if you were to play on the PC.
Yeah, because I play on the PC, so it was not too bad for me.
Yeah, I think this is essentially what these adventure club meetings are going to be like, because we want you to have your own experience with the game that we set out every month, right?
Yeah.
Even if that experience is procrastinating like you did with every single piece of homework that you've ever had in your entire life, and doing it 12 minutes before the assignment is due.
That's just part of the adventure, baby.
It
It is.
But if you had the time to play some 2 Point Campus, or even if you decide to play it after hearing our glowing review, then, drop us a line on our
Glowing.
Discord. We would love to know what you think.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's this? Oh my! I seem to have a note from Joe with her views on this game. Let's go ahead and open that up.
Oh my goodness.
It's a door as well. It's a door envelope. Very rare.
The
Yeah,
door
yeah, yeah.
envelope.
It's a door envelope.
Yep.
It says, "Oh wow! Look at this." It reads 2 Point Campus. Oh my goodness, what a game! My favorite game ever. What, Mr. Digger? I hate that game. What, Neo? More like Shmeo. 2 Point Campus is my game of the year. Heart.
Wait, is that
Joe?
is that a PS at the bottom? Is that? Can
Yeah,
I
go
read
ahead,
it?
Go ahead and read that for me, Hassan.
It says, P.S. Dr. Mario is dead to me. I will play 2 Point Campus forever. What?
And also, PPS, she's changing its name officially to 10.0 Campus because she's giving it a 10. in her book.
4.0.
Oh, 4.0. You're right. That is her
4.0.
4.0.
You know, I misread that. Thank you, Amanda.
I mean, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Yes.
For writing in your thoughts on this.
I appreciate
well,
it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see 2 Point Campus at the end of the year for Game of the Year. For
Oh,
Joe,
absolutely,
so, yeah, there we go.
absolutely. Rhythm Bastard did leave us a note on our Discord, giving us his opinions on this.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
He
Whoa.
did talk about it, and he did say pretty much it's if you liked 2.0 Hospital, you will like this. It's just more of the same, and it's the same type of humor and everything else like that. So
It was very funny.
it was pretty great.
So, cute, fine, relaxing game if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rhythm Bastard, for writing in your thoughts on the game. As Amanda mentioned, next month we will have a brand new game that we will announce next month. And if you would like to be part of the Adventures Club, just find out what game we're playing. If you get a chance to play it. If you can watch someone play it, and then leave your thoughts in our Discord channel. Anywhere. We'll find it.
on
Podcast
our
discussion's
Twitter.
great. Leave them anywhere at all. Write it on your table.
Yeah.
Carve it into your table. We'll
Send
find
us
a
a
way.
letter.
Take
Yeah.
a picture of it.
Carrier
Yeah.
pigeon, anything.
Yeah. And we'll feature your thoughts
Yeah.
on our podcast.
Yeah, put it on a ring, drop it in a river. We'll find it.
Figure it out.
We'll find it.
We'll take it from there.
But now let's move on to our news this week. And first off, I got to go directly to something that is near and dear to Troy and mine's heart, which is Overwatch 2 got its first in-game event officially for Overwatch 2, which is Halloween Terror, which is just a build off of what it's already done, but it's in Overwatch 2 now.
Yes. Look, Overwatch 2 is near to my heart. I don't know if it's dear to my heart anymore.
Whoa.
And I don't mean that in
wow.
a mean way. Well, maybe. It's just not as... It's
It's
there.
not there.
It's not
Yeah.
going anywhere. It's within me. And I've accepted that. But yeah, they started a Halloween event. There's been some controversy because that's just what this game is now. Now, it's not as bad as controversy as what we talked in the past. Not anywhere
Correct.
near.
I mean, that's a high bar to clear.
Yeah, I know, right? But in the past 6 years that this game has been out,
Yeah.
when it came to their special events like Halloween, they'd have a bunch of special costumes for all the playable characters that were in loot boxes. And we've talked ad nauseum how loot boxes are very predatory. So there's no more loot boxes in this game. So they have this event and they have their battle pass and they came up with all of their costumes, but they're all $20.
Oh, they're not on the battle pass?
They're not on the battle pass. You cannot play to get them. You literally have to pay real money that you cannot earn in game, and like the least one is 20 real game dollars that they have the audacity to say it's discounted
Per costume?
per costume. Now the way that they're doing
Wow.
it is in Overwatch 2, they have not just costumes, they have like little charms, like keychains you can put on your weapons. They have like voice lines, they have character animations, and so they're calling them bundles.
Right.
So they're taking like a costume and putting like 3 other of those things with it, a keychain, an animation, and being like, it's a bundle for like 20 something bucks. And you get all the stuff, not just a costume. So we can't say it's just a costume, but it's just a costume.
Yeah. Is anyone happy about this?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I guess listen, the whole thing with Overwatch 2 is that it's free to play. So you do not have to pay money if you just want to play the core game. But if you want anything but the game, then you would have to pay money. This just seems like a lot of money.
But in the past, you paid $60 for Overwatch, right?
Correct.
And you got all of the costumes for the Halloween event as long as you just played for a while.
And if you randomly got the loot boxes to drop what you wanted.
But
Otherwise, you would have to either pay real money for more loot boxes or earn enough in-game currency through the loot boxes to then pay for it
But
without
generally
spending real
speaking,
money.
we had friends who had like the full set or close to the
Correct.
full set or, several of them. But now the idea is that I have to pay. How many characters are there now?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
So
Too many.
hundreds
500?
of dollars for that.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we stopped being free to play, and you're not giving us $60 for 6 years anymore, so I guess we're gonna have to make our money somehow. It's like, this bakery used to give out free cookies, and then they're like, well, we can't really afford it anymore, so every cookie is gonna be $500.
Yeah, if it was like $1
Like,
for the
what?
cookie, I'd be like, all right, here's $1.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
it. Go ahead.
yeah.
But like,
how good is the cookie though?
they're fine. They're fine. The costumes look good. You're going to have your preferences because if it's a character you really like, you're going to like the costume more. And some costumes are better than others, but that's personal taste.
Yeah.
But they have the same quality of, I guess, time put into the costumes that if you do like it, yeah, it's good. I mean, if it's your character and all that, but I don't think it's $20-something good. That's like, that's a third of God of War. Like God of War Ragnarok comes out. That's a third of what that game is going to cost.
yeah.
And this is just for a costume that you don't even really see yourself.
And I'm sure Kratos is going to look amazing.
Kratos is going to look great.
And that's the interesting thing to me is that, counter argument to this is it's just a costume. You don't need to buy it.
That's
You don't have to do any of this type of thing. However, because it's Overwatch, costumes are so ingrained in the culture of Overwatch itself.
If you don't do the costumes, what's the point?
What's the point?
I don't know if Overwatch's gameplay is that good that people will just enjoy playing it without the fun catch of getting these costumes
Without
and
any
getting
progress.
these.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, like you mentioned earlier, is that you don't even see yourself. You don't even see your own costume that you're paying this money for. Whereas at least in like Overwatch, it's a third person view. You see yourself as you're doing it.
In what?
Yeah.
In Fortnite, sorry. In
Fortnite.
Fortnite. I don't know what I said. In Fortnite, you see it's a third person view. You still see yourself. You still see what's going on.
The idea is other people see you in the costume. It's like, look what I got.
And I agree.
You coordinate
and
with
that's
everyone.
And that's what
so I
made
get
it cultural to me because during these events, you would see everybody else as these characters in whatever event is going on. Whereas now you don't.
That's the sad part is I'm playing Overwatch. I'm still enjoying the game. I think the gameplay is still good. But where usually this time of year, I would see everybody rocking these brand new, awesome Halloween costumes. Either no one's in costume or they're wearing the old costumes, which are fine. But then it's like, well, I'm just playing the old game.
Exactly.
And it's kind of takes the wind out of the old sails.
That's a bummer.
On the other hand, for free, they did drop actual gameplay content, which is actually new and fresh. Usually with this seasonal events, they have like a horde mode where you just a bunch of robots are coming at like a PvE type event and you just mow them down. They've done it for 6 years. It got real stale. I thought they were going to do this again. And I was like, okay, sure, we're going to get the robots that are zombies and we're going to shoot them and that's not going to be fun. But no, they actually made a narrative, a brand new narrative where you are story-wise going through like this haunted town in Germany, and it's good.
Nice.
Game starts off and it warns you. It's like there will be jump scares, and I'm like, oh, that'll be nothing. Sure. And it starts you with 4 players, and you're all on one team, and they start you on different parts of the map, and there's doors you have to break in, and enemies coming at you. So not only are you like trying to like take out these enemies, but you're trying to break through doors to like group up with your team, so you, because it's dire. And it's an interesting little puzzle, and then you move through this whole map, and it's a fun story. It's very camp, and there are jump scares that actually got me twice, like literally out of my seat, like, and then I have to be like, oh, that was the dog. And so and it's a lengthy content, and they put secrets in there so you could replay it and then like get like achievements. Like if everyone stays in one room and like turns on a light, then like a ghost appears and you all get like a special challenge. So there is, to their credit, a lot of free content in this package that they have. It's called like the Bride of Junkenstein or something. It's very over the top, and it's actually pretty good, and what I think may be like a small preview to what they want to do with their standalone PvE content in the future. And if this is a good taste as to what that is going to be, then that's exciting. So I guess maybe that's why they cost $20, because it definitely looks like they put work into this narrative, voiceovers, and all the and whatnot. You play as these characters with brand new costumes in this mode, but when it comes to the rest of Overwatch, you have to pay for those costumes. So I don't know if that's the give or take. Hey, we give this something for you for free, but it's going to cost you all this money for the costumes. I'm not sure.
I don't think they've quite found their model yet. I don't think this is it.
I don't think they're going to make money off of this.
It's also interesting because they're also in limbo right now, because they're being possibly acquired by Microsoft if it clears all of the monopoly stuff that's going on, and FTC and everything else like that. So like they're not even 100% sure if Microsoft's going to be acquiring them, because if it's going to clear everything. So I feel like they don't know. They don't even know what it's going to be. Because Microsoft might change it up, or they're not going to get them. So then Activision's going to change it up. And I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, we'll see. I'm glad they're doing new events, and I'm glad they're doing new content. That's exciting. That's a lot of fun. And then speaking of new content, but also, just kind of rehashing the old content. The Witcher, the original game, had its 15th anniversary this week.
What?
Oh, the original game. Oh my gosh. I thought you meant the third one, and I was like, that's impossible. Okay,
Not yet.
The first Witcher.
Oh my God, I have aged so much. The original had its 15th anniversary, and to celebrate, CD Projekt Red announced that they're going to be remaking the original game that put them on the map.
It's really exciting because I didn't play that.
Guessing going to put in all the new gameplay content or
Correct.
styles.
So
that game did not age too
That's
well.
exactly why they're remaking it. They're calling it a remake versus a remaster. So
he's not even the Witcher in that, though. He has amnesia.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting,
right.
because so it's in collaboration with the Polish studio called Fool's Theory. And they've done work on other people's games. Like they helped out with Outriders. They helped out with I forget the other one.
The Mercenaries.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they do. And they're going to be completely remaking it from the ground up using Unreal Engine 5.
Okay, cool.
And it's still
Henry Cavill.
Yes. They are still quite a ways off. They're like, please don't expect this anywhere. We're only announcing this because it's the 15th anniversary. And we want to tell you guys that there's stuff in the works for it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as they stay true to the original game,
I really hope not, because there's some really bad stuff
that
has not aged. It did not age when Witcher 2 came out, let alone now.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
We do know exactly what you're talking about.
But do you know what you're talking about, Hassel?
Of course. Witcher's my favorite book series of all time.
I mean, you have that phrase tattooed on your back.
I do.
It's really
The
funny.
Witcher's my favorite book series of all time.
It's an interesting tattoo, I gotta say.
I do love with him just fishing, he still did nail something that it did definitely have that has aged terribly. And then Hassel, though, speaking of which, you do have some modern sports news for us, do you not?
I do, yeah. So recently, I've been reading a lot about the intersectionality between modern warfare like Call of Duty games and sports.
Okay.
So, and the Venn diagram of players who play both of them is getting closer and closer.
Estelle, we don't call it a Venn diagram. We call it a brosphere.
Oh, sorry. The brosphere.
There we go. Thank you. Now I know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Today, we had some leaks of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 coming out soon. And in the game, there in the leak, two soccer players that are very famous. One of them playing for Juventus. His name is Paul Pogba, and the other Neymar from Paris Saint-Germain. Both of them are leaked to be playable characters in the game.
That's interesting. Is there a reason why it's those two specific people? Like, do they play Modern Warfare themselves, or do you know
I'm
what
not
it is?
100% sure if they do play Modern Warfare, but I do know that they are two of the most commercially successful soccer players in the world right now.
I haven't played Call of Duty in a very long time. Is that game graphic? Like, are they gonna have like millions of internet videos of them shooting guns and falling down dead?
I don't listen.
That's gonna be a weird.
It's gonna be interesting once it actually releases. I think they had an early what is it called? Like early. It's not an early release.
It's a beta.
Yeah. So they released the game to some Call of Duty like players earlier. I think last week.
Okay.
And the game actually comes out later this week.
Yes.
And I don't understand like the need to have their likeness in the game, but I guess it's one of those things where like, hey, it's a new skin. It's like something that, you know, you have to go ahead and get. It's like a like something that you have to buy or something like that. There are rumors that Lionel Messi is also going to be part of the game.
Jeez.
But those are rumors. They haven't been backed yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up is because there was another thing that I read about for Call of Duty last week. So apparently there is a football player, American football player. His name is Kyler Murray, plays for the Arizona Cardinals. And he is such a fan of Call of Duty that they had to put in his contract that he had to dedicate time to watching film to study his opponents instead of playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like in his contract, they had to go, hey, you're not allowed to play this video game for this many hours. You have to devote some time to your livelihood, which is playing for our football team.
Bruh.
Thanks, mom contract. Thanks, contract mom.
Want to know
Right?
what's hilarious about that is that's actually, it's not just him. That happens with actually a lot of players in all the different sports. And it's not just video games. It's also anime and other types of things where they are so heavily into these things that the teams are like, hey, listen, when we're actually playing, because again, we're only playing for like 20 weeks out of the year. No,
We need your 100%.
we need your 100%.
I like that they don't say in the contract that you can't do other things. Like they're specifically like, don't watch One Piece, man.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
watching One Piece. And he's like, fine, I'll watch something else.
Yeah, got
Gotcha.
around you.
Can you imagine if
the
it was
same.
any other kind of like series where it was just like, hey, yeah, so this new contract, we only have one caveat. We can't, while we're in season, we cannot have you watch Love Island.
Oh, that's a deal breaker for me, man. I don't know. This other team's offering me $50 million less, but I can watch it.
That I could
Troy,
watch it.
if they were going to give you a $50 million sports contract, but you couldn't play Dungeons and Dragons for a year.
I couldn't play Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
year?
Yeah,
How
they're like,
much?
no, you can't.
How much?
I don't know. $50 million.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd do that. What?
All right,
You know how many
hands
dice I
down.
can buy after a year?
You know how?
Hey, I can stop playing D&D, but they can't turn off my brain. I play D&D in my
Yup.
brain every night.
And then you know what that just means? After a year, I can play it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go and build my robot. My robot computer who's going to play with me.
Oh, by the way, I spent all my money on that robot, so I have to get a job again.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
Yikes.
Spent all the money in that robot and then invested in a dice company, and it's not doing so hot.
Oh, no.
I would 100% do that.
Turns out dice are really easy to make, yo.
And then the last bit of news I want to talk about, I really want to report on it as a warning to everybody here, especially Troy. Because Troy's not a fan of spoilers
No.
in most anything.
I'm not.
But especially this next thing. Screenshots of God of War Ragnarok are out in the wild, everyone.
That's like a week from now. That's not even an impressive leak.
Yeah, but don't go on the internet.
Just don't go on the internet.
Okay, fair enough. Don't go on the internet.
Caught
At
up
this
on
point,
Game of Thrones. We thought we were safe,
I
but
know.
it turns out no.
But like even reviews are coming out now, which are kind of spoilery just inherently because they talk about the game.
They do.
Like if you're gonna listen, leakers, don't leak first of all. But if you're gonna leak, don't leak. Don't leak. Who cares if it's a week before it comes out? Do that like months ago, and
No,
people would care.
don't do it
But
at
don't
all.
leak. Don't leak at all
Okay,
because no one
so
likes it.
the reason why though these are out in the wild, they're not due to like any nefarious hacks or like any other terrible things. They're out there because someone was playing a review copy of the game and has it in their settings that whenever they take a screenshot, it automatically tweets it out.
Oh,
that's-
no.
How's their job doing?
Who knows? Because nobody knows who they are. I mean, you know, I'm
Well,
sure
I mean,
Sony does.
There's a paper trail.
But yeah, it's
Yikes.
that's the reason why
And-
they're because it's just random screenshots. People were wondering like, what is the significance
and with
of
Sony,
this?
they take a picture every time you get a trophy.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Exactly. So that's the
So
other thing.
all the
So maybe-
monumental moments.
So that's the thing. So maybe they weren't even doing.
Oh,
maybe
that
they
would
weren't even
be
actually taking
so
them.
funny if Sony's own
Yeah.
marketing system messed them up.
Which is probably why
The fact that doesn't happen all the time, when you get your review copy, if it's a Sony system, Sony's probably like, don't do these things, turn this off. So maybe they just forgot a checkbox.
Oh,
somewhere,
absolutely,
but-
yeah. So that's why I think it's amazing because like it's not like anybody's leaking out information, or they probably are, but not this specific person because it really is just screenshots. But people are looking at the screenshots, going, "Oh, we haven't seen that before. What's that in the background? And so
that's sad.
yeah. So again, fair warning.
People that are into that sort of thing will be the only people that are spoiled by this thing.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. November, like you said, is right around the
Yeah, it
corner.
was like November 5th that game comes out.
November 9th, I
real
want to
soon.
say. Something like that. Yeah. Whatever it is, just stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. The waters are muddied out there.
I'll be honest. Don't even watch a trailer. I watched that last trailer and I was like, I'm seeing things. I'm like, I wish I saw that in game first. That looks amazing. I've been doing my damnedest to forget. I've been drinking heavily for the past month trying to forget that trailer. It's been going great.
I almost had really bad news for you because I looked up the release date and it said April 20th. And I was like, wow, I'm sorry, guys. It didn't come out this year. But that was April 20th, 2018. This is the release date for the
first
original
game.
God of
Yeah,
War.
for God of War.
Ragnarok.
And this is why I'm going to start leaking images, but of really old movies. So
Nice.
like I'm gonna start like using my Twitter to leak images of like, I don't know, 1980s action movie Commando.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly.
Just a black and white snow sled.
Yeah.
It says Rosebud
And
on
just
the
be like,
side.
watch out, everybody. This movie's real good.
Got you.
God of War is November 9th.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
The Rick and Morty ads have worked because during their program, they have ads for God of War Ragnarok, but it's Rick and Morty making the ad
Oh,
Nice.
as
fun.
themselves, and it's Rick saying, Morty, you know, you got to come in here. And then he's like putting like paint on it over his eye. He like opens up a chest, he takes out the axe, and he's like, you know, it's got this really cool axe, and he looks in, and other things they haven't announced yet. But it's like a 45-second commercial, and it happens at least once every single episode, if not twice, with the new season. So I've seen that so many times. So it's absolutely worked on me. That's the only reason why I know the release date.
November 9th.
November 9th.
Awesome.
So yeah, that will do it for the little news that we have. And then we're going to spend just the last little bits talking about Halloween. Halloween is this week, guys.
Last couple of minutes of the
Yeah.
podcast. It just comes out, the day before Halloween?
Day before.
Happy Halloween out there, y'all.
Yeah. And
Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
If you're still looking for some recommendations on some spooky games to be playing during the season, I think that's what we're going to be chatting about.
Sure.
So-
But don't ask them from me because I don't play spooky games.
I don't play some
yeah.
spooky games either, but I do have probably. I mean, I don't want to, you know, give you the perfect game right out the gate, but I have
Ooh.
an excellent Halloween game,
Oh, man.
and there are two of them.
Okay.
And Troy and I played them together, and they're both magic.
Okay.
They are the Costume Quest games,
Ah.
which is very, very Halloween. You're a little kid, you're trick-or-treating, and you're, depending on who you choose to play, your brother's sister is kidnapped by teenagers that ended up being goblins, and you gotta,
Oh.
like, join up with your group of friends to go rescue your sibling by trick-or-treating. And it's great because you're running around with your little bucket and you knock on the door and then they're like, trick-or-treat. And then if they're a goblin, you transform from your like cardboard robot costume into like a real robot and then you fight. And then you go to the next house and you knock, and sometimes you get candy, and then sometimes you have to fight. And the story's really cute, but it's not very scary, but it's very, very Halloween. It's
very funny, too.
Like,
Nice.
very, very funny.
Nice.
Charming, I'd say.
Yeah, you get a unicorn costume, you get an Abraham Lincoln costume, and then you collect more like random things to make new costumes later. It's excellent, and there are 2 of them.
It's a real good time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, like, I wonder, like, because I don't get into a spooky Halloween mood when October happens. Lots of people do. They're like, "Oh, I'm only going to play horror games."
I can help with that.
So do you do that?
Camp
though?
outside of your window.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Actually, no. You don't realize I'm just happy to see you, Troy.
Right.
There's nothing.
Can't scare him.
There's nothing scary about it. Like, hey, Troy, come on in.
You're trying to be spooky.
I
I want to do that thing where you're in your bathroom and you close your medicine cabinet mirror, and then I'm behind you, and I'm like a big smile, but that wouldn't do anything.
No, you just have candy for it.
I
I know
would
you
be
just have
like-
candy for
You
it.
want a sandwich?
I would take it.
Want to play Smash?
But like, do you guys do that? Do you guys get into like the Halloween mood when it happens?
I usually do, or I try to. I haven't gotten there this month yet. Every week I'm like, I gotta watch some scary movies. I usually, when October hits, like go full on. I'll play some scary games, or I'll watch some scary movies. I started to get a little into that this week. I started watching the Netflix series The Watcher, which has some spooky content. It's very popular right now.
It is.
So that's a little spooky. I started that last night. I watched a little bit of Hocus Pocus. So yeah, I do like to get into the theme of things, but that's for all holidays. I do that with I was going to say candlelights, Christmas,
The Yule.
the Yule. Yeah. So I'm in on that. That streak.
Yeah,
like that.
I just don't. It's not me.
It is hard
it's
as
not your thing.
Floridians to like get into an October mood.
It is true. It's just still
Which
summer.
is probably why I watch a bunch of movies instead of going outside. Yeah.
That's good. We have a pumpkin. We bought a pumpkin.
Nice.
We haven't carved it, but we bought it.
That's right.
Nice.
Nice.
What about you, Hassel?
So I am contractually obligated to get into the Halloween spirit.
Oh, it's true. You are.
Well, you live up in the north.
Well, not only that, but my partner in crime, Gemby, loves decorating. So the minute it hits like late August, early September, she's already itching
Yeah.
to
Nice.
put stuff up.
Oh yeah, Amanda, this whole place is decorated too. It's all
Yeah, I did
Halloween.
it.
There are cobwebs
Okay,
everywhere.
The problem with us decorating for Halloween is
That's
that
just
I
cobwebs.
like
Stroke
Yeah, it's just
kind
you
of
guys just have a
decoration.
spider problem. I didn't want to say it.
like a dark academia theme is my current passion.
Dark
So-
Academia sounds
yeah.
like a dope anime.
It does.
And so usually for Halloween I put if I put up 100 items, I only take down 70 of them because the rest of them just look like they belong in our house, which makes decorating for Halloween really difficult because I spend all this time and I do it all up and then people come over and they don't notice.
What you don't realize, actually, one of them is a computer. You have to guess which one it is, but one of them is a computer.
Is that the same for Gemby, your partner, Hazel?
No. So what she'll do is she'll she has a thing for trucks with that are hauling seasonal decor. So she'll put out
Red
like
pickup truck.
trucks that are carrying like pumpkins, or we
Skulls.
have a truck. So we have our fireplace mantle, and our fireplace mantle actually has a little truck that has that's hauling some spiders on it. Some
Very
spiders
cute.
and bats.
Interesting.
So around September 1st, it also starts getting a lot cooler up here, and right now we're in like peak fall, like color changing season. So like there's just yellows, reds, and oranges everywhere you go. So
Nice.
it's
Come
easier
on,
to get into
Jersey.
the mood up here.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
As far as scary video games, the scariest game that I've ever played in my entire life has to be Fatal Frame.
Oh, that game
I
is
could not-
scary.
Is that the photo game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not sleep after playing Fatal Frame. Like, that's how bad it was. Mind you, I also played it
was
when I
sca-
was a lot younger.
I was 7. Oh, what was scary about it?
It was just... I think it was just a feeling of, like, helplessness because your only weapon is an old-school camera. that's how you capture ghosts, and that's how you eliminate them. But in order for you to do this, you have to like walk through this like house, and the way that you can't move the camera around. At least the Fatal Frame that I played, you cannot move the camera around. So they position the camera specifically in ways where there's a lot of like hidden corners, or like they want you to focus on something and something else happens. So it is a beautifully done game.
Yeah.
It really puts you into a very uneasy feeling, and I will never ever play it again.
Yeah, if you've ever played, if you've ever played Resident Evil, the original one, it's that type of camera that you have. It's just fixed that you just can't see around corners. Hopefully, there's not a zombie there, or ghost, or whatever.
A lot of big shocks.
Yeah,
A lot of big shock.
The frame that stuck out to me.
Nice.
The frame that sticks out to me the most is I think it happens very early on in the game, but you're walking down this hallway, and this hallway has exposed beams. I know, a dream. I love it. I love a craftsman.
That
home.
house is way out of my budget. I can't afford that.
100%. Not ghost budget though, because ghost budget that's another different tier.
Yes.
But so you're walking down this hallway, and the camera switches to the end of the hallway that you have to walk through, and you can see the beams, right? As you're walking through this hallway, you get maybe about 40% of the hallway done, like you're walking through it, and an arm just starts hanging from one of the beams and just swinging. Oh. And you're like, what? And then you walk back, and you're like, you can't see it anymore. And then you try to walk through again, and you can't see it. So you're like, oh, this is not good.
This is spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that me, or was that the game?
Right. So that's the game that kind of like ruined a lot of nights of sleep for me.
It's fair. I think a lot of people around our age, or anybody who just played it when it came out, when you're a teenager or a young teenager, that game is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a real rough game.
Teenagers and fears.
Well, you guys are you going to do your Halloween?
Our
spooky,
annual,
your annual?
yeah, no. So
Oh,
every year, a group of friends, including Taste of Dragons, kind of
Correct.
spearheading it, we would play the Friday the 13th multiplayer game, where one of us plays as Jason, and we run around trying to murder a bunch of teenagers at a camp, at a summer camp. We've done that for maybe 4 or 5 years. 4 years, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think we jokingly mentioned it this year, but none of us have really gotten together to do it. And I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen.
I think because of Overwatch 2 coming out, and the
Maybe.
group was formed around Overwatch for the most part.
Yeah.
I think that not everybody, but a lot of people are busy playing Overwatch right now.
Sure.
And
also, I mean, we did pretty well over the years.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It has
Same,
been.
yeah.
It is well trodden ground.
It's a fun game. We
You're
have some
saying
clips on Twitch.
You're
Very
saying
funny.
you're very well placed for a new Halloween game
Yes,
to come in and
yes.
steal
I
the
think-
tradition.
Sure. I think that's what I'm
for
waiting
the
for.
developers out there making Halloween
Ooh.
games, you got a
Yep.
core audience for them.
It's true.
Maybe Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Maybe a game
right?
that you
Evil
will
Dead.
release
it.
for free over PS Plus. That would be nice.
Even better.
That we can
Hint,
maybe
hint.
use for our Adventurers Club.
That too.
Hint. Let us know by next year.
Please.
Let us know
October
by
next
next
year.
week when we announce the next Adventurers Club game.
We could have a spooky November.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
No one's telling us we
always.
can't.
No, we could have whatever month we want to have.
Yeah.
Because we haven't decided.
Honestly,
Spoiler
you can
alert.
you can celebrate Halloween whenever you want. You just have to put on a costume and go to someone's door and just be like trick or treat.
Oh,
Halloween
man.
is in your heart.
Yeah. I start
met-
celebrating Christmas on September 1st.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You start playing the Mariah Carey song.
Yep.
Guess what time it is?
She has almost broken out of her icy prison. And she is almost out into the world now.
Almost out. Yeah.
I don't need a lot for Christmas. I just need it to start in September.
And listen, all I want is you. That's all. Oh, man. Well, we'll see what next year brings. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, It ain't for me. No, thank you, guys. But thank you for discussing this this little spooky time. And if you have any special things you do to get into the holiday mood, let us know in the podcast discussions.
Let us know.
Oh, I'll do one recommendation and we can head on out of here.
Go for it.
We just recently watched Werewolf by Night,
It's
I
and
wanna
it
see
was
that.
fantastic.
Okay.
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's very good. I watched that opening night. We made a night of it.
Nice.
We're also going to watch Over the Garden Wall if you haven't seen that.
Ooh.
We highly recommend that.
Funny enough. So I have a group of friends, and they watch Over the Garden Wall every Halloween when it
So
comes
good.
around. We've done it the past 2 years, and I for sure thought that the entirety of Over the Garden Wall was like 3.5 hours long.
No.
No, I
is it,
realized
like
it's
an
only
hour
maybe it's like an hour and 20 tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's just felt to me like it's 3.5 hours long, and I'm like, oh man,
The journey it takes you on, my friend.
It's
The
so good.
journey
it is.
So
takes
good.
It really
you on.
is.
Oh, man. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. But if you would like some more Taste of Dragon goodness, you can always find us online.
Yeah, check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. On Twitch, we are there 2 days a week. One for the co-op couple playing their co-op games, and
Saturday.
on Saturdays and on Tuesdays, talking about pop culture, TV shows, and comic
Comics.
books,
Yeah.
Movies.
all that good stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
And during the week, we are available on any one of those platforms to chat, especially our Discord. Check out our we have a lot of good channels there, whether you want something to brag about, whether you want something to talk about video game-wise, recommendations, news. We got it all there.
We do.
The conversation continues.
It does. It
Even
does.
when it stops here.
Yeah. I haven't been that active on it the last month, but now that I got my computer back,
Hey,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
baby.
You've been dropping Brian messages.
Yeah.
You now know
Yep.
why he hasn't answered.
I am sorry. But as always, my name is Brian,
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Hassel.
and we are
The
Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Ho, ho, ho.
Bye, everybody.
Supposed to be scary.
I don't know. My brain went to Santa for some reason.
Yeah, that was
And I was like, that's not it.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.